The moment everything broke. I never thought my life would change because of 1 second. 1 second. That's all it took. The moment my husband raised his hand and slapped me in front of his entire family. The sound didn't just hit my face, it hit my entire life. Everything went silent. Even the music in the background felt like it stopped breathing. People froze. Forks stopped halfway to mouths. Smiles disappeared in seconds. And I just stood there, holding my breath, trying to understand what just happened. My husband Daniel didn't look shocked. He didn't look sorry. He looked angry, like I was the one who did something wrong, like I embarrassed him. His mother, Patricia, slowly placed her glass down. She didn't scream. She didn't react. Instead, she said something I will never forget. "Maybe now you'll learn your place." And then she smiled. That smile broke something inside me, because nobody in that room was on my side, not his father, not his sister, not the guests. Nobody. And I realized something terrifying. I was completely alone in that moment. But what they didn't know was that my mother had just arrived at the restaurant. And she wasn't coming for dinner. She was coming for the truth. 3 years earlier, I thought I was lucky. Daniel looked like the perfect man. Kind voice. Calm smile. Respectful in public. Everyone liked him. Especially my mother. But she warned me once. Rich families don't show you their real face in the beginning. I laughed at her. I thought she was overthinking. I thought love was simple. But I was wrong. The first time I met Patricia, Daniel's mother, she looked me up and down like I was a product she didn't order. She smiled politely, but her eyes didn't. That night she asked me questions that felt normal at first. Where I studied, what my family does, how much we earn. I thought she was just curious. Now I understand. She was calculating. And Daniel? He always said the same thing. She just wants the best for me. But best always meant something else in that house. It meant control. It meant status. It meant obedience. And I never truly fit in. Still, I stayed. Because I loved him. Or at least, I thought I did. The Mother's Day party was supposed to be perfect. Patricia's perfect event. Rich guests, luxury decorations, expensive food, fake smiles everywhere. I should have known it was a performance. Patricia walked around like she owned the air people were breathing, and Daniel stood beside her like a shadow. I tried to stay quiet that night. I really did. But Patricia had a way of pulling me into her games. During dinner, she raised her glass. "To mothers," she said, smiling. Everyone clapped. Then she looked at me and added softly, "Real mothers build strong families. Not weak ones." Laughter spread across the table. Not loud. Just enough. Just enough to humiliate me. I looked at Daniel. Waiting. Hoping. He said nothing. That silence hurt more than anything she could say, and something inside me finally snapped. So I spoke. "I think real mothers don't insult people at dinner parties." Silence again. But this time, heavier. Daniel turned toward me slowly, and I knew before it happened, before his hand even moved. I knew I was going to regret speaking. The slap came fast. Too fast. And then everything broke. No one moved. No one spoke. The world just stopped. I could feel my heartbeat in my ears. My cheek burned. My hands shook. But what hurt more wasn't the pain. It was the humiliation. Because nobody stopped him. Nobody said a word. Patricia finally spoke. "That was necessary," she said calmly. Like I was a problem that needed correction. Daniel didn't look at me. Not once. He just adjusted his sleeve and said, "You brought this on yourself." That sentence changed everything, because I finally understood something. This wasn't anger. This was control. And I had been living inside it for years without realizing. I slowly stood up. My chair scraped loudly. Everyone watched, but no one stopped me. I walked out of the table. My vision blurred. Not from tears, but from realization. That was the moment I thought my life had ended. But I didn't know. That was the moment it was actually beginning. I was alone. Until I heard her voice. I knew it was my mother. She stood near me, calm, focused, like she already knew everything. She didn't ask questions. She looked at my face and understood. That's what mothers do. They don't need explanations. They just know. Behind her, I saw a folder in her hand, heavy, intentional. Patricia saw her and immediately changed tone. Diane, this is a private family matter. My mother smiled slightly. No, she said. It became public the moment your son hit my daughter. That line changed the air in the room. Everything tightened. Daniel suddenly looked uncomfortable. For the first time, Patricia tried to regain control, but my mother wasn't there for arguments. She was there for consequences. She walked toward the table slowly and placed the folder down. What is this? Daniel asked. My mother looked at him and said something that made the entire table freeze. This is proof that your family business doesn't belong to you anymore. Confusion spread instantly. Even Patricia looked uncertain now. My mother continued. 15 years ago, your company was drowning in debt, lawsuits, bankruptcy, collapse was guaranteed. Silence. Bankruptcy? Daniel laughed nervously. That's impossible. My mother didn't react. She opened the folder and placed documents on the table. Ownership papers, legal agreements, signed contracts. Patricia's face changed instantly because she recognized them. Daniel looked at his father. What is she talking about? His father didn't answer. That silence was enough. My mother continued calmly. My company owns controlling shares in your business. It has for over a decade. Gasps spread. Whispers. Shock. Everything breaking at once. Patricia finally stood up. This is blackmail. My mother looked at her. No, she said softly. This is reality you forgot existed. Within hours, everything changed. Calls started coming in. Investors, lawyers, business partners. Panic spreads faster than truth. Daniel kept calling me. At first, he begged. Then he blamed. Then he demanded. But I didn't answer. Because I finally understood something important. He didn't miss me. He missed control. Patricia left a voicemail. If you destroy this family, you will regret it. But the truth is, they already destroyed it themselves. The video from the party leaked online. The slap, the silence, my mother's revelation, everything. Now the world was watching, and they couldn't hide anymore. 3 days later, Patricia came to our house. No guards, no pride, just fear. She tried to speak, but I stopped her. I spent years trying to be accepted by your family, I said, but I was never your equal. I was your target. Silence. She couldn't answer, because it was true. Daniel arrived minutes later. He looked broken. Not because of me, but because of everything collapsing around him. He looked at me and said softly, I made a mistake. I looked at him, and for the first time, I didn't feel love. I didn't feel anger. I felt nothing. And I said, no. You made a choice. Then I closed the door. A few weeks later, everything settled. The business changed ownership structure. The truth came out. The image of perfection was gone. But I didn't feel revenge. I felt peace. Because I finally understood something. Silence is not strength when it protects the wrong people. And love is not love when it requires you to disappear. My mother once told me, people who love you will never make you feel small. Now I understand what she meant. And for the first time in years, I finally started becoming myself again.